Have you ever imagined a scene inside the Sacred Heart of the Vatican, where an unprecedented clash erupts between the two most powerful cardinals of our time? On one side stands Cardinal Burke, a symbol of unyielding conservatism. Facing him is Cardinal Luis Tagle, known for his compassion and bold spirit of reform, often called the true heir to Pope Francis. In that electrifying moment, a heavy accusation echoes before dozens of other cardinals. The tension in the air is palpable, every eye locked on the unfolding drama. The very fate of the Church could change in a single instant. Is this the turning point for a new era or the final showdown between tradition and transformation? Who do you think will prevail? Unyielding tradition or courageous humanity? Drop a comment below with a 1 if you support Cardinal Tagle, or a 0 if you have a different view. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another shocking story from inside the Church. Let's uncover the truth together, starting now. What heightens the drama is the striking contrast in their philosophies. While Burke stands as an unwavering champion of the Church's ancient traditions, Tagle is widely recognized as a leading reformer, often likened to Pope Francis for his focus on mercy, humility, and serving others. Multiple YouTube sources reveal that this explosive confrontation began when Cardinal Burke openly accused Tagle of straying from the Church's foundational teachings. Burke, visibly furious and unapologetically direct, launched a series of sharp accusations, relentlessly questioning Tagle's dedication to Catholic tradition. Witnesses painted a picture of palpable tension, Burke's anger filling the room, while Tagle maintained a composed and almost serene presence. What was truly at stake in this intense exchange? Reports indicate that their heated debate centered on the future direction of the Church's theology and its core teachings. Burke, a steadfast defender of tradition, viewed Tagle's progressive stance, especially on social justice and minority outreach, as a challenge to the Church's established ways, aligning more with Pope Francis's ideals. In contrast, Tagle is seen as someone who prioritizes mercy, humility, and pastoral care over institutional power. Their confrontation wasn't hidden behind closed doors, but unfolded before other cardinals, highlighting its deeper significance. It symbolized not just a personal clash, but a profound division within the Church. Before we continue, please subscribe to help me reach 30,000 followers. Notably, Tagle chose not to escalate the tension. He didn't argue or show anger, instead remaining calm and silent despite obvious discomfort. Observers say this restraint reveals his true character, one rooted in compassion, humility, and service. His calmness in the face of Burke's accusations spoke volumes about his leadership style. Rather than becoming defensive, Tagle remained composed, a response that not only displayed his emotional intelligence, but also underscored his dedication to Pope Francis's style of leadership. This is a leadership that values mercy over condemnation and understanding over confrontation. Witnesses remarked that, though clearly uncomfortable, Tagle never lost his composure during the exchange. His calm under pressure is seen as even more proof of his pastoral strength. This quality sets Tagle apart from others in the Church, especially those quick to engage in public battles over doctrine or power. The reported clash between Burke and Tagle isn't just an isolated moment. It offers a glimpse into the ongoing struggle between traditionalists and reformers within the Catholic Church. Cardinal Burke represents the traditionalist camp, intent on preserving doctrinal purity and wary of any dilution of Catholic values. Meanwhile, Tagle is linked to the reformist side, championing inclusivity and compassion in leadership. a vision that echoes the message of Pope Francis. Don't forget to hit like, share this video, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful discoveries from the Vatican. The confrontation is a vivid signal of the widening rift between these two factions. The traditionalist camp, with Burke as a leading voice, often voices alarm about the Church's direction under Pope Francis's leadership. Hot-button issues like the Church's stance on the LGBTQ+ community, divorce and remarriage, and women's roles have become flashpoints for tension. Burke and his allies frequently speak out against what they view as a weakening of doctrinal purity in favor of greater inclusivity. Meanwhile, debate is intensifying around Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's handling of clergy abuse cases, especially since he's widely seen as a likely successor to Pope Francis. Criticism of Tagle's leadership regarding clergy sexual abuse is mounting. Various organizations, religious leaders, and media outlets have voiced concerns about Tagle's effectiveness in protecting children and ensuring accountability within the Church. These criticisms have grown louder as the 2025 papal conclave approaches, with some of the most vocal opponents stepping forward. Cullen's statements reflect a broader anxiety among critics, who worry that Tagle's emphasis on pastoral care and non-confrontational language has led him to sidestep the Church's toughest and most controversial management issues. Cullen, a staunch advocate for child protection, argues that Tagle's approach has fallen short in tackling clergy sexual abuse in the Philippines, a country where the Church's influence often shapes political and social precedent. Tagle also faces pushback from academia and the media, especially from those who believe he hasn't been forceful enough in challenging the religious and political structures that enable abuse and injustice. Dr. Accusation, a prominent scholar at Santo Tomas University, publicly noted Tagle's reluctance to use confrontational language, particularly regarding controversial Duterte-era policies such as extrajudicial killings. Accusation argues that Tagle's tendency to avoid direct confrontation or criticism of powerful figures has made him appear hesitant on urgent ethical issues like clergy abuse. Some claim that Tagle hides behind polite rhetoric, steering clear of uncomfortable truths and shying away from confronting both church authorities and political power. Accusation's critique isn't just a lone voice. It echoes the quiet worries of many. For all of Tagle's warmth and compassion, does he lack the boldness needed to face the Church's toughest battles head-on? Yet no wave of criticism can drown out the fierce loyalty of Tagle's defenders, especially in his homeland of the Philippines. Supporters, many among the CBCP bishops, rise to his defense, rejecting the idea that Tagle has stood idly by in the face of abuse. They point to his unwavering dedication to protecting the vulnerable, his tireless push for transparency and justice throughout his leadership. To them, Tagle stands as a beacon of progress, fearlessly championing social justice, fighting poverty, and extending a hand to every marginalized community. Supporters insist that Tagle's leadership, though more conciliatory than confrontational, brings a quiet strength that resonates deeply within the Church. They argue that his humility and his gift for dialogue, rather than the absence of fire and fury, are his true assets, especially now when the Church is in desperate need of healing and unity. As debates around Cardinal Tagle's leadership grow ever more intense, it becomes clear just how complicated it is to guide the Church in a modern age of relentless public scrutiny and media glare. With Tagle seen as a leading contender for the papacy, his handling of scandals, his response to political challenges, and his unique leadership style will all shape the legacy he leaves behind. Yet perhaps nothing sets Tagle apart more than his emotional openness. His tears, shed in public, are not fleeting signs of weakness, but deep reflections of compassion, the weight of spiritual responsibility, and a heart that truly feels the pain of others as his own. Far from diminishing him, these emotional moments make Tagle a figure of even greater stature, admired not just by the faithful, but by people around the globe. Through his vulnerability, Tagle reveals a profound connection to his calling and to the souls he serves. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss out on more fascinating insights. Cardinal Tagle is recognized as a leader with extraordinary spiritual and emotional sensitivity, a man whose heart responds deeply to every sacred moment and human struggle. His tendency to weep in public springs from a profound connection to his faith. Tagle has spoken candidly about how easily he's moved, especially when graced with a sense of calling or divine mission that shakes him to his core. He once described being overwhelmed by the mystery and weight of his vocation, confessing, "When you stand before a mystery that exceeds your own strength, a call, a grace, a mission, you tremble. And yet, you feel a strange joy." For Tagle, such raw feeling is not a sign of frailty, but a testament to authentic faith, to the depth of his understanding of what it truly means to serve. When tears fall, they mark sacred moments of reflection, reminders of a journey walked with humility and compassion, a journey to serve God and all people. In these vulnerable displays, Tagle becomes more than a distant church figure. He becomes a living mirror of our own joys and burdens. His public tears carry weight, especially when mourning a loss as great as Pope Francis, drawing people into a shared sense of grief, hope, and humanity. Tagle's tears spoke not only of his own sorrow, but of the collective pain that gripped the Catholic world. The passing of Pope Francis, a mentor and guiding light, left an immense void for Tagle, who had served faithfully under his leadership in so many ways. When Tagle wept, it was universally understood as more than grief for a lost leader. It was the heartbreak of a spiritual son mourning the father who shaped his journey in the church. These tears weren't just personal. They were the tears of millions who admired, cherished, and mourned Pope Francis. In moments of raw vulnerability, Tagle's empathy and connection to the faithful shone brightest, offering comfort in a time of profound mourning. His public display of grief broke through the expectation that leaders must always be strong, reminding the world that even those bearing heavy responsibility are not immune to loss. Tagle's response resonated with all who have lost someone they love, showing that true leadership embraces both strength and humanity. In the aftermath of Francis's death, every tear also reflected the immense trust and expectation now resting on Tagle's shoulders. For years seen as a worthy successor, Tagle's compassion and spiritual depth make him a beacon for those searching for hope in the future of the Church. The immense pressure and responsibility that Tagle shoulders as a leader within the Church are both a profound honor and a heavy burden. To guide the global Catholic Church is not merely a title, it is a calling that demands unwavering strength and relentless humility. Tagle's emotional moments, whether during quiet reflection or public mourning, are more than private expressions. They are glimpses into the sacred weight of his vocation. He is called not just to shepherd his flock, but to stand as a pillar of spiritual guidance and strength for millions. These vulnerable moments shine a light on the inner battles leaders fight when expectations become almost too heavy to bear. Tagle's tears reveal the extraordinary demands of a calling that insists on both authority and deep spiritual fortitude. Have you ever felt the pressure of being the rock for others, Share your story in the comments below. Let's talk about the silent struggles that lie behind every strong exterior. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next unexpected moment. Tagle's tears reveal a profound grasp of the weighty responsibility that comes with leadership. A responsibility that humbles even as it burdens. Though never officially confirmed, stories persist that Cardinal Tagle has, at times, broken down emotionally in public during moments of intense personal struggle. These occasions reportedly surfaced when he spoke about feeling unworthy or faced the pain of stepping down from roles he believed he couldn't fulfill to his highest standards. Witnesses describe these moments as breathtakingly authentic, stirring the hearts of anyone who has faced hardship or self-doubt. In a world where leaders are expected to be unfaltering pillars of strength, Tagle's willingness to openly share his doubts and vulnerabilities is remarkable. These honest glimpses of humanity remind us that even those at the top grapple with uncertainty, and it's perfectly natural to feel lost or overwhelmed at times. By baring his soul before the public, Tagle's authenticity only deepens his reputation as a truly empathetic leader. His raw emotional honesty isn't just a record of his personal journey. It's an unspoken message of solidarity and reassurance to those who look up to him for guidance. Through his tears, Tagle lets others know they are not alone in their struggles, that their pain, too, is seen and understood. He becomes not only a spiritual leader, but also a living symbol of humility, showing the world that vulnerability, even at the heights of power, is a strength, not a weakness. A leader who fully embraces his own humanity. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's public tears are not a sign of fragility, but a vivid testament to his humility, vulnerability, and the emotional honesty that defines his leadership. Each emotional moment reveals the deep spiritual sensitivity he brings to his role, the pain he shares with a watching world, the heavy responsibilities he shoulders, and the personal struggles that keep him truly human. These expressions of feeling have endeared him to countless people within and far beyond the Catholic Church. Through his tears, Cardinal Tagle reminds us all that genuine leadership comes from the heart. It's not about flawless perfection or unshakable calm, but about authenticity, empathy, and the courage to be vulnerable in the face of life's hardest trials. In a world that so often prizes toughness over tenderness, Tagle's emotional openness is a breath of fresh air, a reminder that our shared humanity, in all its beauty and struggle, is what truly connects us all. As Archbishop of Manila and one of the world's most recognizable cardinals, Tagle stands at the crossroads of admiration and controversy. His positions on divisive issues and his leadership through crises, especially the clergy abuse scandal and the contentious war on drugs under President Duterte, have sparked intense public scrutiny. Yet, what sets Tagle apart is his remarkable openness in facing criticism. While many in power seek to sidestep blame or deny mistakes, Tagle has refreshingly admitted his own shortcomings, publicly acknowledging times when he wasn't strong or outspoken enough on critical matters. Instead of shrinking from criticism, he welcomes it as a catalyst for self-reflection and personal growth, seeing every hard question as a chance to listen and learn. This isn't just about accepting fault, it's about embracing humility, even when the world is watching. Tagle's willingness to admit imperfection signals a rare blend of honesty and strength, a trait deeply rooted in Catholic tradition, a faith that values self-examination, dialogue, and ongoing improvement. Inspired by Pope Francis's famous, "Who am I to judge?" humility, Tagle approaches leadership not as a judge, but as a servant, a man unafraid to grow and change even when the eyes of the church are upon him. Don't forget to hit like, share this video, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful discoveries from the Vatican. For Tagle, humility isn't just a rhetorical flourish. It's a core value that shapes every action, both in his ministry and in facing public scrutiny. One of the most striking features of his leadership is his pastoral sensitivity. He consistently places healing and reconciliation above conflict and confrontation. When criticized, Tagle does not retaliate or escalate. He responds with compassion, seeking to bring fractured communities together. On the deeply painful issue of clergy sexual abuse, Tagle speaks openly of how survivor stories have affected him, calling not just for justice, but for genuine healing for both victims and, remarkably, from a nuanced perspective, even the abusers. He explains this perspective as rooted in his profoundly Asian view of reconciliation, one that favors restoration over punishment. This same philosophy shapes his response to the war on drugs in the Philippines, where, instead of harsh condemnation, Tagle appeals to both sides to pursue peace and justice, choosing the path of national healing over further division. His inclusive, caring leadership style is exactly what the Church needs in these polarized times. For Tagle, the Church's role is to set the highest example of forgiveness and care, even for those whom society finds hardest to embrace. One of the most distinctive aspects of Cardinal Tagle's response to criticism is his commitment to non-confrontational communication, a true diplomat who favors harmony over conflict. Unlike more forceful or direct figures, Tagle is celebrated for his gentle diplomatic language, always seeking to foster dialogue and mutual understanding rather than stir public fights. This approach has often won him praise for his remarkable ability to keep conversations open between divided groups, both inside and outside the Church. Yet some critics view this reluctance to engage in public disputes as a sign of indecision or even lack of authenticity. They worry that in moments demanding bold leadership, Tagle's avoidance of confrontation could be interpreted as weakness. His tendency to sidestep harsh judgment in favor of inclusive diplomatic words sometimes draws criticism for lacking a clear, firm stance on major issues. Still, for many, Tagle's talent for building bridges and nurturing real conversation stands as one of his greatest strengths, a gift that marks him as a rare unifier in a church so often riven by division. It's this very quality that many believe is essential for the future of the Church. The possibility of Tagle becoming Pope has captured global attention. Should he be chosen, his papacy would almost certainly bear the hallmark of pastoral sensitivity that has defined his entire career, a compassionate leadership style that truly touches those at the edges of society. His deep connection to people, especially the marginalized, would remain a defining trait as he steps into the world's most visible religious role. Tagle's progressive outlook on social issues and his commitment to building bridges with the global South could further strengthen the Church's influence in emerging regions. A Tagle papacy could mark a turning point for the Vatican, signaling bold new approaches to scandals like abuse, economic reform, and interfaith understanding. Yet the road ahead would be daunting. Could he truly reconcile the Church's traditionalists with its reformers? Managing the Vatican's complex finances, addressing the long-running abuse crisis, and meeting the expectations of an increasingly secular world would demand extraordinary compassion, diplomatic skill, and unwavering resolve. With the conclave drawing near, many are watching, betting on Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle to lead the Church into a new era. Cardinal Tagle's legacy as a compassionate, forward-thinking leader makes him the beacon of hope for all who wish to see Pope Francis's vision carried into the future. Yet, as history shows, the papal conclave is a stage of secrets and surprises. No one can truly predict who will wear the white cassock next. The outcome hinges on a tangled web of politics, social currents, and theology that flows beneath the surface of the College of Cardinals, a body famous for unexpected alliances and decisions that reshape the Church for generations. Tagle may be leading in the eyes of many, but in the end, everything can still change in the blink of an eye. While the next pope's name remains a mystery, one thing is certain: Tagle's influence on the Church's future is already profound. Will he have the courage to face these daunting challenges and guide the Church forward? What's your take? Can Tagle rise to the occasion? Leave a comment with 1 if you stand with Cardinal Tagle or 0 if you see things differently. Like, share, and subscribe if this story inspired you. Stay tuned. There are many more church secrets and powerful stories waiting for you in our upcoming videos. Don't miss a single moment of discovery.